So I was streaming yesterday and I got destroyed by a Jarvan, like never before. And so I decided I have to make a Jarvan video, and it's ridiculous how strong Jarvan got right now. You have to build him correctly, however, because there's some changes. For example, you have to go for some sort of lethality items right now on him. I'll explain all of it during the build part. If you just want to skip to the gameplay, there's timestamps in the description. So, there are obviously multiple ways to build Jarvan, but here I have like a build that's always going to be decent for you guys. You start off with a Yumo's Ghostblade. This is always going to be your starting item. This item is so incredibly good on Jarvan. Always. Like, of course, you could argue to skip the Yumo's Ghostblade, to just go, you know, Black Cleaver, Starrick's Gauge, Death's Dance, tank, right? Like, you're going to be tankier. However, the Yumo's Ghostblade is so incredibly good on him. It's going to increase your damage by so much, especially your abilities. And now when I'm talking about your abilities, I'm talking about your ultimate. Your ultimate does a crazy amount of damage. When you combine it with lethality, you're gonna be one-shotting the squishy enemies. It's crazy. Second item, you can actually go for more lethality second item. If you're dominating the game, you can go for a Duskblade of Draktar second item, and you're just gonna one-shot the enemies. Only do this if you're like really snowballing the game. Otherwise, just go for the Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is not going to do as much damage as the lethality, of course, but it provides more utility and it makes you tankier. So, if you're not dominating the game, just go for the normal build. You know, after the Yumo's Ghostblade, Black Cleaver. Then you can go for the Starrick's Gauge. By the way, for the boots, you're very likely going to go for Plated Steel Caps. Or if you need tenacity, you go for the Mercury Threads. And then for the enchantment, Stoneplate is generally what's best on Jarvan. And the way you want to use it, I'm going to explain it already. You go in, you do all of your abilities, you know, you use your ultimate, all of that. Then you use Stoneplate. So you don't actually lose a lot of damage from it. Like, you go in, you do your empowered basic attack, your ult, everything, and then you use Stoneplate. You can also go Stasis, it's also playable, but Stoneplate is just a better Stasis for Jarvan. And the next item, Guardian Angel is good. You know, Death Stance, I recommend Guardian Angel over Death Stance because you're a bit squishier than normal since you have a Yumo's Ghostblade instead of a full tank build. If you actually skip the Yumo's Ghostblade, go for Death's Dance instead of a Guardian Angel. And then as your last item, it's completely situational. Whatever you need, you know, you need Death's Dance, go Death's Dance. You need anti-healing and some armor, you go for Thornwheel. You need anti-crit, you go for Random's Own, right? Like, there's so many items you can go for. There's not the right last item. You can go for anything as your last item. For the runes, you go for Conqueror. Sorry. Here you go for Triumph. And then here it's situational as well. Like, Hunter Titan is generally going to be good, but you can go whatever here. But Hunter Titan is what I recommend, because ganking with Jarvan is pretty easy. And then here, Demolish as well, because you're going to be ganking a lot, because that's Jarvan's playstyle in the earlier stages of the game. Demolish is going to be great, because it does a lot of damage to turrets, right? And for the spells, of course, you go Smite and Flash. So that is it about the build. Let's now get into the... It's not working. Gameplay. There we go. Let me see. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it? I feel like the sound is delayed. No, it's okay. Nice. Okay, the sound is not delayed. Let me turn it up a little bit. Sorry for the freezing. I'm just checking if you can hear the sound. Doesn't seem like you can hear the sound. It really doesn't seem like you can hear the sound. Well, it is what it is. I don't really like, sometimes it just glitches. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at how he plays. Oh, this is Trust, by the way. Interesting. Trust takes first ability on level 1 instead of third ability? Is that really faster? I refuse to believe that this is faster than taking third ability, really. Huh? Yeah. Like, I would say 100% you would take third ability first, but Trust is taking his first ability? Let me turn up the... Is the sound really not working? Oh, now it's working! Now it's working! But it's too loud, I think. Let me turn it down a little bit. Sorry, guys, for the black screen. He takes his first ability on level 1. I mean, I'm gonna have to ask him that, whether it was a mistake or not, because I'm pretty sure you have a faster jungle clear when you take third ability. I haven't played that much Jarvan. Like, I probably have around like 20 or 25 games of Jarvan. I'm gonna ask him that. I'm gonna ask him that. This is not an easy gank because it's a Garen. Oh, he just used his first ability, so now it should be gankable. That's fine. He forced the flash because now they can actually push the turret. He can go from behind, possibly, but there is a Lee Sin. Okay. Lee Sin just smited it. Yeah, there you go. If Lee Sin didn't show up, he could have actually ganked the Garen from behind, by the way. He should flash here, yeah. Nice timing. He could go back in, possibly. Like, Jarvan is really, really strong. He does a lot of burst damage, especially with his passive. Like, the passive is, you do current amount of HP of the enemies. Like, I believe like 8%. 8% of their current HP damage. Every 6 seconds with your basic attacks. So, it's a lot of burst damage, especially if the enemies have a lot of HP. Man, yesterday when I was playing Senna and I was doing really, really well. But this enemy Jarvan kept one-shotting me. It was ridiculous. Like, I had never seen Jarvan do that much damage before. And it seems like lethality Jarvan is much stronger than I thought. Like, Thrust is also gonna go for some sort of lethality this game. He's gonna go for a Yumo's Ghostblade. It's so good. It's so good on Jarvan. It's crazy, actually. It's absolutely crazy how strong lethality items are in this game, actually. But I like it. I really like it. It should stay like this. It's really hard to gank a Zed, by the way, as a Jarvan. Really, really hard. You have to make sure Zed doesn't have shadows, because exactly. You can never gank a Zed when he has shadows like that. The only way you could possibly gank a Zed like this is if you go and bait the shadows, and then you ult him after the shadow, like this. But even then, Zed could either flash out of it, or use his ultimate. So, you see, it's insanely hard to gank a Zed. It's really, really hard. Lucian is also hard to gank. This is not honestly, this is not a good draft for Jarvan, I would say. Like, this is definitely not a good draft, because Lucian is really hard to catch, Zed is really hard to catch, Lee Sin is really hard to catch, so there's a lot of enemies that are hard to catch. Like, if you're against immobile enemies, Jarvan becomes infinitely better, because when you're against those types of champions, you know, like Jinx, like Orianna, like Zig, no, not Zig, sorry. But champions that cannot dash out of anything, and that are... You know, those champions, that you know what I'm talking about? Jarvan becomes much better because of his ultimate. His ultimate allows them to stay into it then, and they have to flash out of it if they want to get out of it. And if they don't flash, they have to stay within your ultimate. Like, that's the whole power of Jarvan, right? Like, he's really, really good against those immobile champions. Now, Trust finished his Yumo's Ghostblade. By the way, this is really high ranked. This is, I believe, like, Vanquisher in Legendary rank, which is pretty high ranked, I think. I honestly have no idea how Legendary ranked works, but Vanquisher sounds like a cool rank, so it has to be pretty high rank, right? Man, why is my coffee cold already? What the hell? Like, I just made this coffee and it's cold already. Oh, I have to clean the machine. I'm so lazy. I had to clean the machine for a whole month already, but not like outside cleaning, internal cleaning, right? Like, this is a fancy machine. It needs like internal cleaning. I've never done it before. I bought this coffee machine like a year ago, and I've never cleaned it. I've never cleaned it internally. I don't want to sound like a disgusting person. Of course, I clean my coffee machine, but not from the inside. And apparently, like, I don't know what it means in English. In Dutch, we call it kalk. It's like the white stuff that comes from water if it dries up. Apparently, that builds inside, and I need to take that out. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it today. After the video, I'm gonna do it. That should be an easy double kill for Jarvan. Kill the Lee Sin first, exactly, because Lee Sin is the mobile one, and then Garen, he's not mobile at all, you can finish him off. That's how you have to think with Jarvan. He shouldn't really push this lane. I mean, I feel like he kind of griefed his Wukong, but it seems like he just pushed the lane so he and Wukong could do the Rift Herald, and makes the enemy lose one minion as well. That's fine, I guess. This is a really, really good Rift Herald, by the way. Enemies are likely gonna get the dragon, but it's okay, because Wukong can push the bot lane turret, he can put the Herald in the mid lane, they're gonna get a lot of gold and a lot of early game advantage out of it. It's fine, it's fine. He didn't take the Rift Scuttle either. I wonder why. Maybe he thought it was too risky to go for the Scuttle as well. I feel like he could have taken it very, very easily as well, and he would have had a Scuttle Crab as well. But he left the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, he wants to push the mid lane here. He wants to do it before 7 minutes, by the way, because you want to make sure you use the Herald before 7 minutes, because then you get the turret plates. So make sure you use it before 7 minutes. Like, there you go. They could even possibly get the turret here. Possibly. Yeah, they're gonna get the turret. And they could push, they could even let the Herald hit the next turret, which is really, really good for them right here. Nah, it's not gonna happen. Okay. But it's fine. It's fine. They did really great. Now he could look for a gank again. Exactly. Like, as a Jarvan, you really have to be proactive. Keep looking for those ganks. What is that? What the hell is that karma damage, by the way? What I was saying is you want to be proactive. Constantly gank. Keep going, because Jarvan is really, really good at ganking. Especially when you go for those lethality items, you know, the Yumo's Ghostblade. You want to keep it up in the early game. Even though you're against a Lee Sin, Jarvan can do the same. Jarvan is really, really good at ganking, so keep it up. Don't farm all the time as a Jarvan, because, like, it's not like Jarvan falls off late game. It's just Jarvan is not that powerful late game. And not only that, Jarvan is just strong early game. You want to utilize that, right? Like, even if a champion is strong late game, if a champion has some sort of a strong gank in the early game, you want to utilize it, right? You don't want to farm. Ooh, right here you can see Lee Sin ganked the top lane, and unfortunately both of them died. He could actually try to fight them if they dive the turret, but it seems like the enemies are not diving the turret. By the way, guys, make sure you give the video a like. It's a small effort and it really helps the channel. If you don't want to do it, it's fine as well. Just watch and enjoy the video. But yeah. Yeah, I always find it awkward to, you know, ask people to like the video, because, like, I don't care about a number of likes, but I'm pretty sure the YouTube algorithm pushes videos more if they have more likes. So of course, you know, I'm asking you guys for likes if people want to support the channel to do it. And I think comments do the same as well. However, I don't ask for comments anymore as much because I'm not doing giveaways. I used to do Wild Rift giveaways every month. I think you guys remember. But then two things happened which didn't allow me to do giveaways anymore, unfortunately. The first thing that happened is I couldn't gift skins to SEA anymore because of the Wild Rift system. Actually, three things happened. The first thing was I couldn't gift skins to SEA accounts anymore for some reason, because Wild Rift doesn't allow that anymore. Second thing that happened is Riot made gifting skins so much more annoying, because now you have to add people, keep them on your list for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and you can only gift 2 skins per day. So, you know, if I give away 15 skins, you can see how stupidly annoying that becomes. And then the third thing that happened is my PayPal got blocked. Because 5 years ago, I created my PayPal when I was 17 years old, and apparently now, after 5 years, they decided, you know, we need to block your account. So, unfortunately, no skin giveaways. Even though, you know, I can definitely do skin giveaways, but yeah. It is what it is. The world is not always what you want it to be, right? Really annoying though. It's like, it seems so simple. Like, Riot is literally losing money. They couldn't find a better solution to the scammers, because there were scammers that were selling skins or something, I don't know, or refunding wild cores or something like that. Something like that was happening in Wild Rift. That's why they had to do it like this. But come on. 2 weeks? Really? Well, you know what's so funny? This is really funny. When there's like really big issues in a game, you know, that players really hate, developers won't really care too much. You know, they'll take like 2, 3, 4 months to fix it. And then they'll be like, we're working hard on it. We're trying to fix it. And we finally done it after 4 months. And players are going to be like, oh, thank you. I've had to deal with this issue for years now. But when there is an issue that's losing the company money, the next day, they'll fix it. The next day, you know? The next day, they'll fix it. Like, there was this scamming issue, instantly fixed. However, there are so many other issues in the game. Oh, we're working on it. We're working on it. Yeah. If I could not be child friendly now, I would. Oh, what a good Jarvan ultimate right there, by the way. That was beautiful, that one. That wall really destroyed the enemies. By the way, there are a few more things you need to know about Jarvan. Your ultimate can also be counterintuitive. Make sure you don't annoy your teammates with your ult, because of course you can also ult your own teammate within the walls. Make sure you don't. Oh, he almost died. Make sure you don't do that, right? Like, make sure your teammate is not stuck in your ultimate, because that would be a bit awkward. Second thing is, as a Jarvan, you have a lot of burst damage, but you don't have a lot of sustain damage. You go in, you do all of your burst damage, then you become a tank. Essentially, when you go in, you are like an assassin, I guess you could say. You do a lot of damage, boom, boom, boom. After you've used your abilities, you have to wait a little bit. And during this waiting, you become a tank. Use your second ability when you're within as many enemies as possible. You know, so it becomes very big and you get a lot of movement speed. And, oh, he's dead. And use your stone plate as well. Like, these are the two tanky abilities that you have. Your second ability and your stone plate. Use them correctly. Use them when there's as many enemies around you as possible, because both of them will give you more shielding when there is a lot of enemies around you. So try to be within as many enemies as possible and use both of them. And then, you know, when you've tanked a lot of damage, a few seconds later, you're going to have your abilities again. And then, of course, you can do the big damage again. That's how you have to think with Jarvan. Oh, the enemies are taking everything. They already have 2 dragons. They took a Rift Herald here as well. It's a pretty bad Rift Herald, by the way. Not sure what the Lee Sin was thinking. It was probably running out of time or something. I don't know. But I'm not sure why he would place it there in the top lane like that. Because when you have a Rift Herald, it's the second Herald I'm talking about now, not the first Herald. First Herald, of course, you just want to put down, take the gold. But second Herald, you kind of want to wait until you kill an enemy under a turret. And then you put it down. Because then you could possibly get 2 turrets even. And it will guarantee a turret for you, right? Because now Lee Sin wasted his Herald on the top lane. And he didn't even get the turret. Like, it's a complete waste. I love this skin as well on Jarvan, by the way. It's really, really nice. The sound effects are nice. Jarvan never wins a 1v1 against the Garen, by the way. Like, he shouldn't even try. And exactly, as you can see, he's not even trying. He shouldn't even try to 1v1 a Garen like... Oh! He could go into Karma here. He has a Yuma's Ghostplate, which gives him a lot of damage, but as you can see, it's not quite enough. But boom, the ult allows him to kill him. He survives with the Stoneplate. He's probably gonna die, though. There's no way. There's just no way. Oh my god, there is a way. Ah, no! Oh, he actually survived. Wow, he was backporting right there. That should teach you a lesson as well, because that happens to me a lot as well. Running away and trying to go home can sometimes be not as complicated as you think. I see so many people in my games, when they're trying to run away from the enemies, right? It's like almost an obvious death. They run as far as they can, and then they try to backport as far away as they can. However, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get caught. But the people that don't get caught as often are the ones that are bold like this. Those are the ones that are just backporting in a bush right in front of the enemies. You know why it works? Because the enemies will not expect you to be such a savage to be backporting right in front of them. They'll be looking around. They'll be walking all the way back, thinking you ran away all the way in their jungle. Meanwhile, you're literally backporting right in front of them. Right in front of them. Like, huh. Honestly, that works more often than running far away to me. That works more often than running away far away. Try to be a savage. Try to be unpredictable and backport right in front of them. Of course, do it in a bush. Oh, that's a good stasis by Ahri right there. It's not an easy task to kill Garen, but he did it. So, your first ability actually allows you to kill champions like a Garen because it shreds their armor. Combined with a Black Cleaver, you're really gonna shred a lot of their armor. So, you'll do a lot of damage against those tankier champions like a Garen too. And when you're taking waves on Jarvan, try to hit all the minions one after the other. Don't try to focus one minion because your passive, it does a lot of bonus damage to minions as well. So try to hit as many minions as you can, one after the other. Another tip that I have for you guys, your third ability gives you vision, as you can see right here. Trust is using his third ability on the Baron right here just to get vision so they know whether or not the enemies are doing it. It's really, really good. Just use it in a bush to get vision. Oh my god, Kai'Sa almost stole it. That would have been an absolute grief. He really needs to try to kill the Zed, by the way, because the Zed, oh, it's not good. It's a good engage. It's a really, really good engage. That was an amazing engage right there. They actually have Zed here. They could catch Zed. It would be nice if he gets the kill, but unfortunately Ahri gets the kill. He got 500 gold from it, but he could have got 1,000 gold from it. But it's fine, they killed the Zed. Baron? I wouldn't say they could do Baron here. I wouldn't say they could do Baron here, even though... Oh. Okay. I don't think he had to escape, because he could use his second ability and the Stoneplate. He's gonna get ulted. Oh, the second ability saved him from the ult. Oh, nice! The second ability, the shielding from the second ability saved him from the Garen ultimate. That's amazing. But there you could see another example, right? Like, you go in as an assassin, then you become a tank. You use your Stoneplate and your second ability, it gives you a massive, massive barrier. Man, this coffee is disgusting. No, it's good, but it's cold, which makes it disgusting. Ah. Ooh. You know what's funny? I have pretty severe ADHD. And if you're not familiar with what ADHD means, it's like I'm super... I can't concentrate. That's number one. And I'm very... what is the word for it? Lousy? In Dutch, we say druk. What is the English word for that? Druk. Like, that's what we say in Dutch. Like, I'll be all over the place, you know, like an absolute bonobo. Like, I'll be, my mother literally told me when I was a kid, I was climbing walls in the house, and I would touch everything and destroy everything. So that's what it is. So what was I saying? Yeah, coffee doesn't really work. Maak het man. Video. Ga 10 دقائق. Yeah, so things like coffee don't work on me. Don't really work on me because, like, I drink it because it's delicious, but it's not like it will wake me up or anything. It's crazy, right? Like, people with ADHD, those types of things don't really work on them. And don't do drugs, kid, but certain drugs don't work on me either. You know, like the ones that are supposed to hype you up. It literally doesn't do anything to me. But on the opposite side, things that relax me work really, really well on me. So it's weird. It's weird to have ADHD. Man, I should read books again, to be honest. Like, I as a kid, I was also never able to read books because of my ADHD. I hate to make excuses, like I'm saying because of my ADHD. No, because I'm stupid, I couldn't read books. But ADHD doesn't really, you know, it's hard to read books. Like, as a kid, I would always think I was a weirdo. Because, you know, in school, we would always sit, everyone would sit on their chair, and we would have like half an hour of reading every day. So every kid was able to read. And then I was just sitting there with my book, I legit tried to read, but my head just couldn't comprehend the words. It's not because I was stupid, I'm actually pretty smart, but I just couldn't concentrate on these books. And you know what's funny? The only books I was able to read were books that I was like really, really interested in. Like a book that was of utmost interest of me. Like, for example, we had a book that talked about medieval stuff, you know, how people got tortured and stuff like that. I don't know, that was the only book at school. Oh, and a book about dinosaurs. These two books were the only books that I was able to read. And you know what's funny? We have like 8 groups in the Netherlands. You have group 1 to 4 and then 8 to... sorry, 1 to 4, 5 to 8. We have like different libraries for groups 1 to 4 and then groups 5 to 8. And in this library of 1 to 4, there were my 2 favorite books, right? So when I moved to group 5... those books weren't there anymore, so I kept telling my teacher, I want my books back, I want my books back. And she told me, no, those books are not for you, you're older now, you need to read these books. But obviously those books I hated because they were boring as hell for me. But then at some point, like a teacher that really liked me, she sneaked to the other library and actually got those 2 books just for me and put them in our library. So then every time I picked up those books, I kept reading them over and over again because she picked up those books for me. That's so wholesome. Yeah, because sometimes I would literally sneak to that other library and my teacher was like, why were you away for 10 minutes? Like, the library is right here. I was like, yeah, I had a hard time trying to find the right book. And then she would see that I picked up that book, right? And at some point they realized, like, I could only read those books. It's funny, it's pretty funny. But yeah, but now, when I became older, I tried to read books again. And at some point I was able to. And it actually really helped me go to bed, like fall asleep, reading books. But now I'm not reading anymore. I don't know. I feel like I should start reading again. Reading really relaxed me when I did it, to be honest. But it's hard. Like, I really have to be in a focused state. I really want to, like, how can I say it? It's hard to explain something that other people don't have. Because I have ADHD and you guys don't know how it feels like, right? Only a person with pretty severe ADHD will understand what I'm talking about. You know what's funny? If there's something that I really enjoy, I can like have hyper focus on it. For example, Wild Rift. I'm really good at casting Wild Rift because I can see everything that's happening in the game. I will put my full focus on the game and I'll be able to just talk about everything that's happening. I won't miss a single thing. And that's what makes me a good color caster, because I can analyze the game really well, because I'll see everything. I'll see every thought process and I can see the game through every person's perspective, because that's what ADHD does to me as well. I'm gonna have to help my mom with gardening right now. Let's take a look at how much damage he did and everything like that. Vanquisher, yeah. It sounds like a cool rank, so it has to be high rank. And it's red, so it must be good, right? He's the MVP. Let's take a look at how much damage he did. Insta Wild Rift. Oh my god. Like, look, this is what I mean. A literal boosting service on Instagram is being promoted right here. So stupid. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.